Now, let's go under the hood with the Nordstrom's Motor Medics.
Welcome to the Under the Hood Show. We are glad to have you with us. Russ Evans is here to answer your automotive questions.
Thanks for joining us under the hood.
Shannon Nordstrom is here to do the same.
Welcome, hoodies. Thanks for tuning in so we can help you tune up.
I'm Chris Carter here to answer your calls at 866-594-4150. 866
excited to be back?
594.
I'm excited. I pointed at the clock and was like,
50.
that time can't be right.
This week, if I can't talk, you got to back up.
Yeah, no kidding.
Could you not talk last week?
We thought it might not last the day. It did okay.
It's been getting worse every week since Labor Day.
Well, you sound great today.
I'm glad you say that because I don't.
No, you sound good. If I would have not known there was an issue, you sound good.
Last week, watching the YouTube, we could tell because we know, but Art said I sounded fine, so I'm okay with it.
We're good. We're good. But I can always talk if you need to talk her.
Even
okay.
if
that's not a problem.
Right, that's for sure.
If you need talking done, you just look at me and say, talk. Because I'll get that when we go to like conventions and stuff. They're like, we need somebody to get up there. And they say, well, send Shannon up there. Just put a quarter in him. He can talk.
We got our new video system installed, and we didn't want to talk about it the first week because if you talk about it, you know what happens. One swing of the bat, and it's all over.
Right.
Yeah.
But all of them are back.
All firing.
Lined up, voices lined up with the audio and YouTube,
I
Twitter,
don't think people that get into
Facebook,
videoing on YouTube, podcasting probably a little lower bar, but that video bar is pretty high if you want to put out high quality
There's a lot
video.
of stuff. There's a lot of fine tunings. You've got video bit rates, audio bit rates, all these things. And if you don't get them the way that reception end, let's say YouTube wants it, they cut your video views down, or they just say it's not going to work. So it's tricky stuff we've learned on our own. We don't pay somebody else to come in.
No, Russ has became the video engineer, the audio engineer,
We learned on our own. Yeah. Me and you and Russ.
Yeah.
I just keep asking Chris, and he feeds me the info.
The two of us and Russ have learned on our own.
Yeah, I've learned that Russ is quite amazing to figure this stuff out is what I've learned.
866-594-4150. Let's go to Arizona and talk to Randy. You're on the End of the Hood Show. Randy, what can we do for you?
Hey guys, I love your show. Thanks for giving me the courage to work on my vehicles. I've been wrenching on my old car.
Hey, stop for a second there. Stop for a second. That statement was paused us because I don't think somebody said that before.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I mean, that caught my attention. Maybe it's because I've been gone, but that caught my attention, Randy, because that would be that was never a goal of ours to say, I'm going to make somebody work on their car that doesn't work on their car. But as we've built the show, that has happened quite a bit where people have said, well, that sounds like I could do that. And Russ has told people, hey, if you can change a sink, you can do this.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad we gave you the courage to work on your own vehicle. I hope you don't screw it up.
Well, yeah. Well, now you'll understand that the reason I'm calling is now I'm moving to my newer vehicle. It's a 2016 Ford F-250 Super Duty 6.2 liter gas, and it's only got 35,000 miles on it. And what I'm trying to do is flush the radiator, and I've got a shop manual, a Chilton manual, none of them really. And I went online, looking for, taking your guys' advice, and there's so many different opinions. So here's where I'm at. My truck gas only has one cap at the top. It's on the reservoir. There's no radiator cap or secondary cap. And on the bottom, I have a drain valve on the radiator. I think there's also, if you use an Allen wrench on the block, a way I could drain it, but it doesn't seem like I would need to do that. So I bought 7 gallons of the premix, Ford, correct radiator coolant, and I've got 10 gallons of diluted water. But my question is, if I just wondered with those 7 gallons and those 10, and how would you? And I also have some detergent, that I bought to go in there, Prestone to go in. But I'm definitely going to do it here. I'm not going to take it in. You know what I have. Can you give me advice how you would do it?
So you want to flush your cooling system?
Yes, that's what I want to do. And I don't want to make it, I just don't see how you get all the diluted water out of there by starting your engine up a bunch of times without going through a bunch of radiator fluid too to get the proper mix.
You won't get it all out of there unless you take those 2 plugs out of the block that the Allen wrench is for. It's new enough truck that they might come loose. You could try that before you get your water in there, but they're, it's 10 years old already. They may not come out. Those things are so hard to get out. We've had those engines, not that engine, but we've had engines on the ground with an impact Allen wrench in there and a 3/4 impact driver and could not get them out of the block without extreme heat on them. They get that tight. They just weld themselves in. So most people just do a flush. They'll hook up a machine where you've got, or improvise it. What you've got your fluid going in, pulls it in, thermostat comes out. They make sure fresh fluid's going in one end, and then the other end's dumping out until it's clean. So you could take. We've got a machine that's pretty cryptic. I should say pretty prehistoric. It's a basic machine. It has a 5-gallon bucket, and the upper hose where the thermostat is dumps into the bucket. It's that simple. And then the other hose fills it up. So you could fill the radiator while it's running. It doesn't go real fast because the thermostat opens a little bit, comes out, and it closes when it cools off. A little bit more comes out, then it closes when it cools off. So you keep filling that thing full, and then that upper hose where the coolant is normally coming out, you just direct that into a bucket and watch it. When it's clean, it's completely flushed. So you don't need the distilled water in the engine. You just need to put coolant in because it's going in one way. It can't back up there. It's not circulating. And then it's dumping out the radiator hose where the thermostat is. So that's one way you could do it. Look online on YouTube. You see some people that have done that. We used to do it with transmissions that way until we got a machine decades ago. But that's what I would do. If I was doing it at home, I would take, I do that on my LS engine. I just take a 5-gallon bucket and I take the upper radiator hose off and stick it where the auxiliary battery would go. I just stick my hose right in there and keep pouring fluid in it while it's running until it comes out clean. And then I shut the engine off and reconnect my hose and it's good to go.
So in other words, I don't even need to mess with the drain on the bottom. Just do that. And then, so I might go through an extra gallon or 2 of new fluid to do it that way.
Probably not. You're maybe a half gallon at the most because you're going to spill a little bit. But yeah,
and during that final transition as it's closing, you're trying to find out where your stop point is at.
Right.
Yeah, you're going to go through a little extra.
Because your water pump is going to be sucking the coolant out of the radiator in the reservoir. And it's just going to be dumping. You've just got one outlet coming out of that radiator hose with the thermostat on it. That's the hose you want in the bucket. And as soon as it warms up, when you first start it, nothing's going to come out of it. And as soon as it gets warm, it's going to start dumping out of that hose.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to run too much through to make sure.
Oh, a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But it's probably better than running 10 gallons of water through it. You will have a problem with dilution. If you put water in there, you're probably going to have 2 gallons in the block. And the freeze protection is not going to be there. And that's not what you want.
Yeah.
No, at least he's in Arizona.
So,
yeah.
What about it's real mild here. I'm at 4,200 feet elevation, so it's real mild weather. So what about the cleaner? Do you recommend even using it then? Because I don't think you're supposed to use it with fluid, are you?
No, that Ford cleaner they have, that descaler, is meant to go in there. You remove, I've done it on my truck several times using the Ford product, and you drain it, you put it in there, you run it their recommended time, and then you completely flush it out. BG Products also has a cleaner that's meant to be used in the radiator. You can put it in with the fluid without it being emptied out in clean water, and it'll help clean that on its own, and then you flush it out. So you don't have to worry about that. Like you do with it. That Ford product is pretty extreme, and it's usually requires a neutralizer too. Like in mine, I ran that product in there with the diluted, or with the distilled water. However long it was, I can't remember anymore, but I ran that in there, and it really turned the fluid a dark, dark color. And then I had to drain it, fill it up with fresh water again, put the neutralizer in it, run it for the recommended amount of time because it's acidic and you want to neutralize that. And then I drained it, flushed it good, filled it up with the correct amount of antifreeze in there to fix it.
I got you. So I think I'm going to go with the way you described initially then and not use that and maybe do it another time down the road because I don't think it's that bad in there anyway. So
yeah, or check with your local parts store. They've got that BG cleaner is available at many auto parts stores. You could pick that up there.
Randy, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show.
Three friends talking cars. You decide if they know what they're talking about. This is Under the Hood.
866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Let's go to Oregon and talk to Bill. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Bill, what can we do for you? Bill, are you there? Bill's not there.
Can't do anything.
Let me try one more thing here. I'll try this. Bill, are you there?
Good morning.
Go ahead, Bill. What can we do for you?
I've got a 2011 Ford F-150, and it's got an icon for the airbags. It was kind of coming off and on for a while, and now it's pretty much on all the time. And it's also got another light for the passenger airbag, and that's also illuminated all the time as long as I'm driving. What's causing that, and is there something a person could do themselves to work on that?
If you've got an airbag light on and a passenger light on, there is nothing you can do at home. It has to be done in a shop that repairs airbags specifically. There's no way to tell what's wrong with that system until a professional type scan tool is plugged into that system that can read airbag codes. Now, you will get the passenger light when the main light is on, but you can get the passenger light without the main light if there are no faults, but rather it's just reading that system is disabled. It's turned off.
Yeah, because I think in some cars, not a ton of them, that passenger light will come on when there's not enough weight in the seat.
If it senses something there,
yes,
but not enough weight.
Right, and then it'll put that on. So if there's something laying in your seat,
something light, like a laptop or a book or a phone even sometimes.
Yeah, so that's something to consider on that passenger side one that could be unrelated. And your driver's side one, like Russ is saying, you got to find out where that's coming from. It could be as simple as a clock spring in the steering column that makes the connection, but it also could be wiring that's compromised somewhere. It could be we've had people have seats come out of vehicles to clean them, and they didn't get wires hooked back up again to seat belts or to the seat that have to do with the airbag system.
That home remedy is to look at the yellow connectors, which means airbag, on both the front seats, right where the buckles are. Make sure they're plugged in. You can unplug them and plug them back in and then start the car up again and see if the light goes out. Sometimes that will work. A lot of those connectors get dirt in them. There's so much dirt on the floor, and it wiggles its way down the connectors and just impedes their impedance. They don't make a good connection. So if you unplug them and plug them back together, it wipes them off and they work again. So if somebody were to read your code and it said seatbelt driver or passenger side, that is usually the fix. Just unplugging it, plugging it back in. Usually lasts for a couple years every time you plug those back in if it's a dirt problem. But you could try that at home.
And that's by the seatbelt?
It's attached to the seatbelt, right where the seatbelt bolts to the floor. The buckle.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And some vehicles of certain, as you get newer, will have yellow wires going right into the seats also.
That one will.
Yep, because they'll have airbag, like some cars have airbags placed in the seats. They have sensors that have to do with the airbag system in the seats. And you're going to recognize most all that's crucial with yellow wires.
Will the side airbags go off if no one's in that passenger seat?
No.
right?
Not
So
supposed to.
that's
If
all
they're
in
operating properly, they will not.
there. Right.
Yeah, because we'll see vehicles where the curtain bags go off,
Yeah.
but the side air doesn't. I mean, there's just
That's what I mean. I mean,
there's all
that.
kinds of different scenarios
Yeah.
based on the
But the belts,
the vector
Yeah.
of the impact.
most of the time, the belts will all tension and lock, even if no one's in the seat. Even if the airbag doesn't go off in the seat, the belts are like on their own circuit. It just says turn the belts on. That goes for backseat belts too.
But when that yellow light is on, your airbag system is compromised, and it's imperative that you get that figured out.
That help you out there, Bill?
Okay, I'm going to take a look at those wires. Yeah, you bet. Thank you, guys.
Thanks very much for the call. 866-594-4150. What, where you been?
Venturing a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't want to just come on here and tell stories, but I got stories to tell. But I'll just tell you a quick thing. I did something.
Well, let's first of all say where you were with the
Yes,
ARA.
yeah, we had a group of us, a delegation that went to the Cars convention, and it was part of a bigger recycling and waste convention that was held in Birmingham, England.
Okay.
Big event. I would say like a mini SEMA, but crazy stuff there. I got some pictures that I'll share on our page here at some point once I get organized. I just got home late last night before we produced today, but that event was pretty cool. You're in Europe, and so the European timetable on recycling is way ahead of ours.
Right.
And so the type of products that you see there are pretty cool. And the mindset of the people that are there is different. And so you have different conversations. But a lot of our recycling friends from the Professional Automotive Recycling Group, they had a section of that conference. And there's a big group of folks that come over, my friend Andy Snyder's, and I could go on names long after, Alan from Silver Lake, and all these guys. They come over to our conferences all the time, and so we're always good about reciprocating to go to theirs.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a different event for them. So, yeah, we flew into Manchester, England, and my plan was to not drive a vehicle in England, that my friends were going to be there. They were ahead of me. They were there 2 days sooner, and they were going to pick me up. Then we realized that we had made a huge tactical error, and we were 2 hours apart from each other.
Okay.
And so the text I got from my executive director of the trade association, we're trying to make a plan as I was, going to the airport for a second leg of our flight at JFK. He goes, "How are you driving on the left side of the road?" And I knew what that meant. I needed to rent a car, and I wasn't planning on doing that there. And we were wiped because we had been Vikings game, and then we got up and got into our flights, and you go that way, you lose 6-7 hours. And so we were pretty wiped.
I bet.
And I got in a car that I had never driven before, on the wrong side of the car, on the wrong side of the road. And my daughter had helped me with the planning for the trip. And she had us getting a car from a place called Drivezilla, which was not at the normal airport. And we ended up renting a Chinese Amoda.
Okay.
And it was a car I'd never heard of in my life. And as I researched it, it was made by Chery Motors, one of the big manufacturers in China. And China has a ton of vehicles in England.
Oh, yeah.
A ton of vehicles. I can see why when we talk about some of our trade philosophies about trying to control domestic-made product, they have gotten overrun by everything over there as far as other products. So the car was probably reminded me a little bit of like a Nissan Murano. Not because of this. It had a terrible CVT transmission in it with the automatic start-stop and the CVT. You thought you were like at a go-kart track.
They probably stole the technology from Nissan.
Like when you're at a go-kart track and they got to push you to get going, and then the car gets going. That's how it felt every time it came out of auto start-stop. And it had a very hyperactive lane avoidance that I couldn't figure out how to adjust or turn off. And so not only was I probably a little tired that I would hit the lines, that drive, the 2 hours up to meet them, where we went and toured some amazing facilities, and then 2 hours back to get to Birmingham, where we stayed at a hotel nearby Birmingham, was not fun because it was. My wife was very anxious. Remember that I told you a story about being in the full self-driving Tesla?
You should have rented one of those.
We should have rented one of those in that case.
That's funny.
For sure, because we were both like ready to get out of that car. And but you know what? I did it. I got it done. But that area where we were in was very busy, very high traffic, very high speed. I have driven enough roundabouts for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, leave the roundabout on the third exit. The car is in navigation mode of the native country. And
a roundabout on the wrong side of the road.
Wow.
Can you imagine,
And
Chris?
they're no joke either.
they're full speed roundabouts. You got to know what you're doing. I definitely got honked at and had near misses on at least 5 roundabouts until I figured out the best approach.
Right.
We'll tell you more later, but we had it was great. We are in one piece. We survived. We had a great trip, and we ended up in Ireland after that. And I can tell you some more there, but it was really cool. And
866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show.
.200 stations. Under the Hood has the knowledge to make your car feel good. This is Under the Hood.
866-594-4150. Don't forget, you can watch the show on our social media challenges. And if you subscribe to the YouTube channel,
the social media challenges.
Is that what I said?
That's what we have sometimes.
Did I say that?
Yes, you did.
And I said YouTube. All right. You know what? Next week.
What did Doug give you?
No kidding. You can subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the Hoodie Fan Club at underthehoodshow.com. That was just a Freudian slip there, saying what you're thinking. You could win a hoodie like
Jan Volker. Congratulations for everybody here under the hood and our friends over at Berkeley One Classics. They're celebrating 50 years of collector car coverage and Universal Technical Institute. UTI.edu, the place to go for all your automotive training needs.
You have permission, which you don't need, to call me out on one of my mini blunders that I make. Because I make them all the time.
I didn't even notice that. I just noticed the YouTube.
Oh, hey, I got one car thing before we jump to the call. When we got to Ireland, we flew into Shannon, Ireland. I always thought it'd be cool to fly into the Shannon, Ireland airport, and I did. And we got a Kia as our rental there, but it wasn't what you'd think it was because it was fancier.
Oh, was it a K6?
It was a Sportage.
Oh, the Sportage.
Because the young man that was checking us in, it was the assistant branch manager.
Yeah.
I said, "What do we got for a car?" I said, "I'm supposed to get a Nissan Quashiga or something." What it was? I looked up the name. I can't say it. I can't say.
We looked it up.
Yeah, whatever it was, that thing.
Yeah.
And he said, "No, it's that or similar." He goes, "You get the Kia Sport." I go, "Oh," he goes, "Sportage." Or no, he said Kia Sportage. I go, "Sportage." He goes, "Yeah." He goes, "The guys here at the place, I was calling it a Sportage, and they said, no, we call that the Sportage."
I like it. It's Italian.
And so it sounds.
Italian.
I think they charge $10 more a day when it's a Sportage. Much better vehicle, by the way. The one that I had, much better vehicle than the Chinese-made Amoda that I had in England. I'm serious. The Sportage was a great steed for us as we traveled across Ireland. I loved it. So
866-594-4150. Let's talk to Brian. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Brian, what can we do for you?
Yeah, I got 01 Chevy Silverado, and it's doing several things. Not sure if it's in the fuel pump or if it's in the instrument cluster. Both have to do with the instrument cluster. The fuel gauge, ever since I got the pickup 10 years ago, when it was 3/4 to full, all of a sudden randomly it would just go down to empty, say your empty tank as you're driving, and then it'd go back up, and you just never, but usually from 3/4 down, it was pretty accurate. But now it could be any time you're driving. If you don't use your trip meter, you don't know how much gas you got because it go to empty. We don't know if the fuel pump had been replaced before we got it. If something wasn't in straight, fuel pump itself works fine. Pickup runs fine. Nothing with the fuel pump, but the gauge just is all wacky. And now, here recently, we do have 18-inch rims on it, but they're still, I think it's 265s and 16s or 18, same there. And the speedometer usually at 30 miles an hour is right on, and we have an app on the phone and the computer hooked up to it, say 30. But if you're going 55 on the speedometer, you're only going 45. And if you're going 65, you're only going 55. And according to the computer, though, you're going at 55, the lower number. But then you get back up to 75,
and the app says 75, the speedometer says 75. So it's in there about 30 miles an hour that it's 10 miles an hour off. Wonder if you guys have ever seen that before. I haven't been able to talk to any mechanic that had. Right on the bottom end and the top end, but wrong in the middle.
That's got to be a speedometer instrument cluster failure if it's doing that, because if you've got a gear ratio and tire size error, it's off a percentage
All
the
the
entire
time.
range, period. There's no way around it. If it's
Yeah.
fine at one, off at a different, fine at another,
It's
time
all
to go.
gone.
It's a graduating scale.
And those instrument clusters,
Yeah.
they have two kinds, the ones that are already failed and the ones that will fail. So I
Mhm.
probably start with that cluster, get that
I would-
replaced, and then check the fuel gauge after that if needed.
Did you
It may
say
not
you
need
had a
to.
computer plugged into it?
Yeah.
What's
My
the
son-in-law
speed?
did.
What's the
He's a
speed
mechanic.
signal saying coming out of the computer?
It's right. I mean, it's right with the app on your phone.
Yeah. And what about your fuel gauge? What about your fuel gauge?
30.
On
I
that
don't
computer.
remember if he looked at that when we had it hooked up. Don't
It-
remember.
It has a
that.
fuel percentage. So if you can read fuel percentage and
Yeah.
it shows where it's supposed to be or it's something different than that gauge, you just
Okay.
got to get that instrument cluster replaced.
But
It's
yeah, these things all together, the gauge going, the speedometer, and it being a 01 Silverado.
And our partners at Dorman Products have a solution for this, a Dorman solution that you can get at most
fixes it.
most any of the parts stores have that option available, or else you can go direct, go to their website.
The new cluster.
Yeah, and it's a cluster that you give them your VIN number, you give them your miles, and they have an exchange program, so it comes plug and play. Put it right in your vehicle and get ready to roll.
The only problem I found with the 01 Silverado cluster is almost every other cluster. When I talk to Napa, anybody there that I'm friends with, most clusters are $300 to $350. This one's $700
No,
for an 01 Silverado.
it should not be.
That's
I put an 01 in 2 weeks ago and it was $232.
Okay.
Something is not right there. Pull yours out. Takes about 5 minutes. Get the number off the back of it and look at it by that number. I think they're just going to the generic look up 01 Silverado dash, and they're all priced very high like that. But when you put in the part number,
They have a lot of part numbers that come back into one general part number for
and
them.
it says boom, there it is. Because I guarantee you, I put the one in. I know I put the one in this one, and it was.
And,
a
and
little
over
over a
the
couple
years,
hundred
when we
bucks.
used to have a lot of brand new vehicles that got damaged in transit and such that we dismantled for parts only, we would pull the clusters out of them and sell them. And people on eBay quickly learned that there was multiple ones that you could interchange between
Oh, yeah.
different vehicles and pick up a different option. And
Yeah, I
and-
put the
and-
trans temp gauge in our Tahoe years ago
yeah, and it worked when
by
you put it in.
accident, and it worked. And I went, oh, I got a trans temp gauge. Look at that,
But it would have been a completely different part number
Yeah.
cluster.
and it's different color even too.
Yeah. So those things can make it a different part number, but this is a good opportunity for Dorman Products to solve your problem.
This has become such a solvable problem that it has been almost 20 years since Russ said you can pull out your cluster and just resolder all 47 solder points if you want.
I
That's
did-
one way to do
I
it.
did that on one of those about a month ago too.
Did you?
Yeah, it just certain things weren't working. I said, you know what, I'm just going to fix this instead of waiting. Time was short, so I took it out, soldered it, fixed it up, put it together. It's going to work.
If
now.
you're adventurous, there are people that show you on YouTube what you can do.
I was thinking of that earlier this hour. YouTube really has changed the game on a lot of things,
When I give tours of our
for better or worse.
when I give tours of our facility to groups that come out, last group was a big group from the governor's office of South Dakota. We had Governor Larry Roden here with his team touring our facility when he did a visit in our town of Garrettson, and that was a pretty neat experience. But one of the things I'll tell people often is that our main business of selling parts at Nordstrom's is selling to professionals that have sales tax licenses. That's our main business. But we've got a good, strong 25% of our business that are people that are fixing their own stuff. And that really spins into this Under the Hood Show radio program. How it started way back in the day was to let people know you have parts available, you have options available so you can fix your own stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But the game changer has been YouTube. Because
Right.
there was a period when Russ and I did this show where people were scared to death of their car. The technology was like, oh my gosh, they put a computer in this thing. What do I do?
Yeah.
And the younger generations coming into the market, they have no fear of jumping online and looking up and becoming an expert in something. It's a little dangerous.
Or a troublemaker. I mean, Chris
Right.
is exactly right.
Yeah.
You can learn the wrong way.
Yep.
I watched a video the other day, and the guy was 100% certain you do it this way. And I just didn't feel right. So I Googled it and did some looking, and 9 out of 10 were like, that is absolutely wrong. And the one guy's like, no, it's right. So you got to make sure you're doing it.
Take a pallet sample.
Yep.
But I guess my point, though, is that the do-it-yourselfer is alive and well because of YouTube.
Yeah.
And I think that there's also new technologies that people have got that they're not scared of that has allowed them to figure out how to get into systems that the manufacturer doesn't want you in. There's a lot of things that have happened because of the online presence for every industry, but it's definitely been a big thing for the auto industry. So like our caller earlier in the show had said, and I'm just going to repeat this. He goes, but you guys gave me the courage to work on my own vehicle. So shows like this are part of that solution to make the do-it-yourselfer be alive and well. But you got to be a careful do-it-yourselfer. Don't jump right into it. Do your research. Look at a few things. Ask at the parts stores. But realize that not every parts store has an expert at the counter.
Yeah, for sure.
We know how hard it is to fill those positions, and we've got some shops that'll go through a period of time that they have got just amazing people that worked at their sales counters for 15 years, and they can not only become good catalog looker-uppers, they're good advice givers because they've seen it. But then you can go into one that they can't, for whatever reason, keep a steady rotation of people that have got knowledge, and those folks can run you down the wrong path sometimes. You really gotta, if you're gonna do it yourself, you gotta use the tools that are available.
Brian, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show. 866-594-4150. Let's talk to Jeff in Wisconsin. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Jeff, what can we do for you?
All right. Hey, thanks for taking my call. I just tell you, I've been listening, caught onto your show about 4 years ago. I have not missed one episode. I'm sure of it.
That's
a
awesome.
recreational event for me to watch your show and listen to your show. Listen to it, download it for flights. I do a lot of traveling, and I really enjoy it. You guys have been very helpful. I'm typically a do-it-yourself person. But I decided a few years ago to buy a brand new truck. It's a 2023 Nissan Frontier. It's the Pro 4X. I really love the truck. I've got 32,400 miles on it right now. The only issue that I've had in the past year, about a year ago, started having issues to where I would go out to my truck and it would just be completely dead. No dash lights, no nothing. I mean, and I try to jump start it. The battery's so dead I can't even jump start it it takes me quite a while. Happened maybe a year ago. It's happened in March this year. It's happened again in May. It's happened in June. And now September 18th was the last time it did it. And I'm just getting frustrated with it. I've taken it to the dealership each time, except for the first time I just got it jump started, took care of it myself. But they did replace the battery the time before last. And this last time I brought it in, they had it in the shop for about 3-4 hours, did all sorts of tests on it. Everything checked out fine. They checked you name it. They went top to bottom on it. And it's obviously a parasitic draw. I know I've listened to your show in the past, and there's been worry that maybe the key fob is too close to the vehicle in the house or something. But it's happened to me when I was traveling even and been at the airport and I come back from a flight and it's dead in the parking lot.
And that's how many days?
I don't really have a solution. I'm sorry.
How many days is that, like that particular flight where it was dead in the parking lot?
I would say 3 days.
Yeah, that should
What's
last.
the
You
fastest?
should have to put a battery tender on your vehicle at the airport.
Yeah.
No. What is the fastest that the
Yeah,
vehicle
well,
has gone dead, where it's been driven, so it's fully charged? Let's say you've been driving it 4 or 5 days and it's run every day. What's the fastest you've turned it off, and come back? Did you turn it off and the end of the day you come back and it's dead? Was it a 1 day? Was it the 3 days? What was it? What's the fastest it's ever gone dead?
The fastest it's ever been is overnight.
Okay,
So,
that's fast.
I drove it the day prior, and I get out there in the morning to drive somewhere, and it's dead.
And 100% dead. Just no click, nothing. It's just out.
Nothing. There's no dash lights. There's nothing until I put some sort of a charger on it to get a little bit of juice going in it. I've got about 1,500 miles left on my warranty, and that's the part that worries me because the dealership is saying we don't have a solution for you.
You need.
I put a call in after this last visit.
I would get on the phone with Nissan, because if they have a long documented string of this vehicle having this problem throughout your warranty period, and it gets to the end of the warranty, that is not a get out of jail free card for Nissan Motor Company to say, oh, sorry, you're out of warranty, we can't take care of it.
They're not honoring in good faith.
No, and you have recourse to go back on that for that specific problem,
because
not for something else.
Specifically, we don't want to go too crazy on this side of it, but if you've got documented...
If you've been into the dealer and they've worked on it and they say, well, we just can't find it, we can't fix it, and it continues to do it, we have seen cases from multiple companies where they're gonna have to figure this out.
And I would keep my own journal too, probably just at this point. Just of your own personal experiences when you've had to jump in.
Records. I would go get them all now before that warranty's up.
Now let's go back to what we could look at for some ideas.
I'm wondering if it's not so much a dead battery. I'd want to test that battery by hooking up directly to the center of the terminals with a voltmeter when it's not powering up to see if the battery has voltage, but the vehicle's not getting voltage. Like you've got an open connection somewhere. So it's not allowing the power through.
So when it's dead next time.
Yep. You got your cables hooked on the outside, and then on the center you got the posts. I would check that right on the post with a multimeter and see if I've got voltage. If it's dead, it's dead. But if you've got battery voltage there and nothing coming out, it's an electrical issue in the car not making a connection. And that's a different route to go through to try to find out what's going on.
But an overnight drain is a pretty substantial...
Something's hot.
Yep.
If it drains overnight, something is getting warm. And there are very few components on that vehicle other than a cut wire shorted to ground that can pull that much juice without lighting a light bulb. And that is pretty much the only thing that could do that would be the electric engine fan coming on and running, which you would hear, or an alternator that was shorted internally and staying on. And that's a very likely candidate on that one. And it would be warm. If they hit it with a temp gun, they'd say, whoa, that thing's 150, 190 degrees. So it's hot. It's running with the car off.
Have you got any aftermarket accessories put on this vehicle since you bought it?
No, completely stock. And I've mostly bought used vehicles in the past, and I thought, well, this is the first new one that I had bought in a while, and I plan on keeping it until I retire and beyond. It's bought it for reliability, and I'm a big Nissan fan. I love the truck. It's just that one thing is just very annoying.
It's new to us, hearing this problem on this type vehicle. I don't think I've ever had one come in that they've had this problem occur.
But I think as far as just to kind of recap, and I think you've got it, document your visits, have your own personal journal. If you haven't been, think about it and maybe recreate a little bit of it. If, not lie, but you know what happened.
Yeah.
And just approach them about that. Say, hey guys, I'm 1,500 miles of my warranty. I'm really nervous that you're going to try to leave me with this. And we got a problem here. What's our approach? What can we do here? And it's not like they haven't been trying. If they brought it in and spent 4 hours on it, I give them some credit, because that's the thing. But Russ has said over the years with these parasitic drains and these overnight drains, if you bring it in and they energize the system and it's not in the trouble mode, they're not going to find it.
No, they've got to look, but you really need, like Shannon said, that documentation is extremely important. I have had customers in our shop a year out of we give them a year warranty, parts and labor. But I've had a couple that there were problems occurring, and I just couldn't catch it. But I knew there was a problem internally in that part, but I couldn't catch it. So I said, I can't do anything for you unless I catch it. They were out of warranty, and it was a year later, and I finally caught it and saw what it was, and I said, I'm going to take care of you because I know it was there. I know it happened. You got a video of it occurring. I hear the noise. I know it was there. We're going to take care of you. We don't want to leave them hanging. It's just not right. Yes, legally, you could say, well, your warranty's up. I never saw it. But
Jeff, how many times has this happened?
So this has happened to me. This is first time I didn't document it. It was just, I have a note for myself.
Sure.
First time bringing it to the dealership was March. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 additional incidences where it's gone to the dealership.
That's a plenty.
I just wondered how often it happens. If this happens 50 times or if this has happened 7 times in the 3 years that you've owned it.
And you're in Wisconsin?
Like every month or two, it'll happen. And I document everything into a Carfax app. I put receipts in there and everything, so I've got pretty good documentation on it. And
you bought this car new?
To the point where I thought, well, do I just threaten a lemon law or?
Well, yeah. Did you buy it new? Are you the original owner?
Yes.
Okay, if you bought a car brand new, there's certain things. Lemon laws are different in every single state, sometimes in different cities. But I do know that all the ones I've ever seen are only apply to the original owner, which is you. The vehicle has to have the exact same problem, which you do, and it has to occur a certain number of times before they'll even start looking into it. But it sounds like you just want it fixed. If they could say, oh, look, it's just this alternator that's bad, and they put it on and it fixes it, everybody's happy, it's fixed. But you don't want to be in that spot where
their deal is
you're out. Yeah, and that might have different recourse after the warranty. You're going to have to do some asking.
I'd go in and just ask for a time, just sit down and talk with the service manager.
And get it back. By all means, if it goes dead again, take it into that dealer every time it goes dead.
Jeff, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. Now let's go to Texas and talk to Daniel. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Daniel, what can we do for you?
Hey, I've got a 2007 Saturn Vue with the 2.2 liter L4 engine, and it's got about 173,000 miles on it. And somebody just gave it to me, and I've been going over it and, looking at all the different fluids, making sure everything's fine, change the water pump, a few different things I need to do. It says in the manual that you're supposed to check the automatic transaxle fluid, and it says the way you do that is take it to a dealership.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to know if there's a way I could do that myself.
You can.
And if so, how?
You can. Look at YouTube for the procedure so you can see what I'm trying to tell you. But there's a plug on the side of the transmission on the axle end. You take that out, and if fluid drips out of it, it's full. If it doesn't, it needs to have some added. And you can change it yourself, even if you're doing just to take the pan off, drain the fluid, put the pan back on with new gasket and filter, fill it back up until that runs out. And they'll show you a procedure to do it, engine running, all very specific things on how to do it. But yeah, you can do that yourself. They did it like that to get you back into the dealer and keep them in the casino. They want you in front of them, but you can do it yourself. It's a simple procedure you can do.
Free play.
Yep, through a wheel well on one end of the car. It's right on the end of the snout where the axle CV shaft is. Just one little 10 millimeter head nut or bolt comes out, and it'll drip out of there when it's full.
How dirty am I going to get if I do that? I mean, how am I gonna?
I know you don't like to get dirty,
yeah,
Chris.
I don't like.
This isn't running down your arm.
I mean, I'll have gloves on. Don't get me
wrong. I'm gonna kick you down and roll you around in the red dirt of Texas when we get down there.
Hey, but that's what I was just gonna say. He said at the beginning of this call, we're going to Texas. We are going to Texas,
right?
Yeah, next we're
going
to
to
Texas.
Later.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can do it yourself. You can pull that plug out and change it. Just look up YouTube transmission fluid check on GM transmission.
Oh,
they're all they pretty much are all that way now.
Daniel, thanks very much for the call. That'll do it for this hour of the Under the Hood Show. Hour 2 is coming up. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us. You're listening to the Under the Hood Show.
You're listening to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics, Shannon Nordstrom and Russ the Super Tech Evans. Shannon is an ASE engine and parts specialist, and Russ is an ASE Master Certified Technician with extensive factory drivability training. The Under the Hood Show is heard weekly on this and other great radio stations.
With Russ Evans, this is Shannon Nordstrom, thanking you for tuning in to the Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show. Have a great day, and remember, PTLA.
The opinions heard on this program, based on the many years of experience of Russ and Shannon, are offered for entertainment value and as a guide to your repair needs. No guarantee to repair or cause is given or implied. Always check with your favorite certified technician and follow all safety procedures before attempting repair. The Nordstrom's Under the Hood Show with the Motor Medics is reproduced and distributed by Prairie House Productions. Have questions for the Motor Medics? Call our 24-hour toll-free number, 866-594-4150. All content of the Under the Hood Show is the property of Nordstrom's Incorporated. Copyright Nordstrom's Automotive and may be reproduced with our permission. Now, let's go under the hood with the Nordstrom's Motor Medics.
Welcome to the Under the Hood Show. We are glad to have you with us. Russ Evans is here to answer your automotive questions.
Thanks for joining us under the hood.
Shannon Nordstrom is here to do the same.
Welcome, hoodies. Thanks for tuning in so we can help you tune up.
I'm here to answer your calls. I'm Chris Carter, 866-594-4150. Should we go right to Oklahoma and Freddie? Let's see if Freddie's there. He's got stuff going on. Freddie, what's going on?
I've got a 2000 Ford Ranger, 4.0 motor in it, four-wheel drive. 1 minute I get it, start it, and drive it. It runs just as smooth like a new one. Next time I get it and drive it, it acts like it's something's wrong. I don't know exactly. It's cutting. I won't say cutting out, but it just don't drive right. You know, it's just sluggish. And you mash on it, and it's just sluggish. And I don't know. It almost acts like it's got water in the gas or something like that, or something a fuzz styling out or something. I don't know.
You know, it could even have something in the fuel that's, if it had water or something in there, it could do it. Have you ever tried?
Well, I've put a lot. I've flushed it several times with different things.
Okay, I was going to say, have you tried some cleaner or something in there that would help?
So this is intermittent, and sometimes it does it the whole drive, and sometimes it stops. What's the on and off part of it?
Yeah, one time I can start it up, and it runs just like a brand new one. Next time I start it up, it's just sluggish and kind of.
Does it ever start?
I don't know.
Start out driving fine, and then all of a sudden, in the middle of that drive, it starts to.
No,
okay.
No.
So it either works good or it doesn't.
I feel like that was a good question.
I think it was, but we're going to dig a little deeper here, Freddie.
Check engine.
Okay.
Yeah, you got any lights on the dash?
No.
Okay, and have you had any loss of fluid from the vehicle, coolant, oil, anything?
Coolant, yeah, I put coolant in it once in a while.
And does this intermittent drivability happen more when you just first start it, or when it?
No, it happens if I'm riding at 30 minutes. It'll be that way 30 minutes.
All right.
Maybe next time I get in it, it'll run like a new one. Smooth.
And how much coolant have you had to add to it?
Not very much.
Like how often?
6 months, 4 months. I'll put some in there.
Is there any?
I can tell from my air conditioner it'll be warm. My cage will be up high. My temperature gauge will go a little higher.
So, do you have any? Okay, I'm zooming in on something here that could be a total guess, but do you have any physical leaks that you can see of antifreeze on any wet dripping on the floor or anything?
No, not really.
Okay, because you shouldn't lose antifreeze unless if you're losing antifreeze and you can see a drip on the floor, there's probably more dripping than you realize, and that's why you're losing antifreeze.
Yeah.
But if you're losing antifreeze and you don't see it anywhere, that means the engine is using it, which it should not. Antifreeze is not like oil. You should not use antifreeze. So some of those 4-liters had a problem with minor cracks.
Well, ideally, you shouldn't be using oil either.
Yeah, but it seems like over time people were more accepting of using oil, and it was there's some tolerances for oil use that are commonly accepted in the industry.
And in antifreeze, it's closed system.
It's a closed system with light pressure. It should not leak. There was some problems here and there with those 4-liter cylinder heads where they would crack the heads with minor cracks across the top of them. And if that was the case and those cracks were opening or closing at a certain temperature, certain drive cycle, and allowing some antifreeze to get into the combustion chamber, you could burn that antifreeze, never see it, go away, and it would affect at certain times the drivability. Now, I think you'd be losing more antifreeze if that was the problem. The amount you're losing doesn't sound like that.
Right.
So one thing I would try, our partners from K-Seal, they've got the best product for putting in there.
K-Seal Ultimate.
Yes, K-Seal Ultimate, and put that in there and just try that just to make sure that if you do have a minor antifreeze leak, we can maybe make that stop and then see if the problem goes away. If not, I would try a fuel filter. There's a number of other things that could cause intermittent drivability issues in that vehicle. And the only way they're really going to find it is if you pay a technician to have tools hooked up to it and he can drive it and watch with live data what is going awry at the same time it starts acting like that. But if I was going to try home remedy, something to think about, that would be it. And if you wanted to look a little deeper and you feel up to it, you could pull your spark plugs out and inspect the burn on the spark plugs and see if any of them look a little different. Because if any of those looked a little different than the typical brown, maybe a little black with carbon over the years on that one because it's pretty old, you might have a light antifreeze leak getting into a cylinder or two.
And it could even be a coil. That's
the simple side. When he said he was losing antifreeze,
I've had so many of those that did that. Though.
Yeah,
it's hard to not think about when it's got a coolant loss.
But a coil could be doing it, and so that's if you haven't maintained coils on that, that's something to look at too.
Arc into ground.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, look at me. Does that help you out there, Freddie?
So it is. So it is.
All right,
Thank
perfect.
you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thanks very much for the call. 866-594-4150. I have an idea. Can I be the tech who will just, like, for a certain amount that's not crazy, I'll drive your car daily and I can put like electric bike in the trunk. And so I can get to work and I'm going to go, I'll drive your car for a week and it's $100 or whatever. And then
$100 a week?
Yeah. Because I'm just going to drive your car has an intermittent problem that has to be checked every morning.
They buy the gas?
Yeah. It's So because that's the problem now. If I bring it to Russ, I can't pay him an hourly rate to just drive it all the time. It would be too expensive. It has to be doing the problem. But I'm going to put an e-bike in the trunk so I can get to work and get back if it does conk out.
You're thinking about something that could be.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm going to do in retirement, Chris. Now that you give me that idea, I'll just drive around.
There you go.
Your car doesn't run. I'll tell you what's wrong with your car and what you need to go get fixed.
My 04 Town and Country. Not interested. Let's go to Arizona.
That's 14, you mean?
14.
Sorry, Doug.
14. Was that on purpose?
No. No. Let's go to Arizona and talk to Gary. You're on the End of the Hood Show. Gary, what can we do for you?
Yeah, thank you. I got a 2019 Audi Q5, and I could pull out of my house, back up, get on the road, and no issue, then go to half mile down the road to the parking lot. And when I pull out of there, turn left or right of the parking lot, it just makes a clunky, not really a loud clunky, but you can feel it underneath you. And I have no idea what that is, man. When I first got it, it barely did it, and I've had it for like 4 months, maybe 5 months, put about a few thousand miles, like 3,000 miles on it. It got a little worse. No idea what it is. Have you guys ever run across that?
It's when you transition into a parking lot, or I make sure I understand that right.
He said it did it when this was 3 months old.
No, when I come out of it, when I come out of the parking lot, it'll turn left or right. When I go left or right, that's when I feel it,
You said it did it when this car was 3 months old?
No. I've only had it for like 3 or 4 months. It's a 2019. It's got 78,000 miles.
That's old.
I suspect that you have a sway bar link in one corner of the car that is either in really bad shape or broken.
Yep.
And it just is catching at certain times. my son's, well, I guess it'd be my daughter-in-law, her vehicle that we helped her get, she had a noise, and she said, it doesn't sound good. And my son rallied her, and he goes, it doesn't sound good. I go, so I went and drove the car, and I'm like, I couldn't hear the noise. It would not make the noise. And so finally we said, I got to get a little more aggressive, get out of the car. And so we drove it down in front of our barn, and there's like a really rough little drop off there in a transition. And I drove it across there like at 25 miles an hour, and it went, holy smoke, what was that?
Found it.
Yep. And it was the left rear sway bar link, and it was like a non-displaced fracture. And sometimes it would catch and it would be perfect, and then the next time it would pop off, and then it would kung kung. And it was a $24 sway bar link, but it sounded like the whole vehicle was going to break in half. Yeah. That was one of the worst ones I've heard in a long time.
The old Taurus in the 90s would break on the top part would break off.
Yep.
And when the body would go up and down, it would hit the bottom of the wheel well, and it was like somebody hitting it with a hammer. It would just bang bang. It was loud.
Yeah, this one is the top joint was snapped.
Had to hit a pretty good bump, but boy, she was loud.
But that's what I would inspect.
Where does Gary bring it? To a suspension shop or
the regular brake tire alignment guys?
Okay.
Or any other shop.
Anywhere they can lift it up, or
right?
Because that's going to be first step. Now let's go back to inspection. We made a hypothesis that it could be that.
Yeah.
Inspection is going to be get it to a wheel alignment shop, let them get it up in the air, shake every wheel, inspect every connection, inspect the sway bar joints. This one here, I could not see it with the naked eye the way it was sitting there until after we were like, and then we finally found out that if my son would jump on the back bumper aggressively up and down while I pushed on one side, we could make it go kunk, 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 and then we could narrow our ears down.
Father-son project.
We could narrow our ears down to where the noise was coming from.
And when you bring it in, and a lot of places will do they'll visually inspect to take a look, but they might have stuff going on.
Yeah.
It's not like when we say, I mean, it is a quick thing.
They don't just drop what they're doing.
Yeah. Let me take this one off, and then I'll get. No,
and real quick, just what a sway bar link is, it's just keeping the balance of the body as you turn corners so the body doesn't roll. And so they shift weight from each side to the other as you turn. And when those little joints break, when the weight turns one way or the other, it'll pop that thing up on the other side.
Gary, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Let's go to North Carolina and talk to Todd. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Todd, what can we do for you?
Hello. I really enjoy the show. I appreciate you guys doing it. I've got a 1984 Mustang GT that I've had since I had 6 miles on it. It was my daily driver for years and years. Now it sits in the garage and gets driven every now and then. The temperature control for the HVAC is a lever, which I assume controls a cable or something, and it's gotten to where it doesn't move throughout its full range of travel. It'll go up all the way, but it'll only go about 3/4 of the way down. Is that something? I mean, is the whole dash going to have to come out for that, or can I even get parts for it anymore? I'd like to get it fixed, but don't know what to expect.
Yeah, the parts are going to be go to Ace Hardware store and get yourself a lawnmower cable, one of those armored cable looking things with a thing. It looks pretty similar to that. I had to think a minute. It's been a long time since I've been in a 84 Mustang GT. Those were really cool. Popular car when we were growing up. There were hundreds of them around. Worked on a few of those.
Oh, hold on. Sorry.
What are you getting in here, Chris?
It was really cool.
It was really cool.
It was really cool back in the day.
If you were in high school when we were, if you had a new Mustang GT, an 84, 85, 86 Mustang GT, an IROC Camaro, or a Trans Am, or a Grand National, you were pretty cool. Those are the 4 newer cars that you were going to have. And a couple people had like a Toyota Supra or something like that if they were uber rich and weird. But it was we just didn't know yet, right? The Mustang and the Camaro was still the car, even if it was a 78. I'm on the Mustang, no, but That was the thing. So they were around, but we had problems with those heaters on those things. From that body style started in about 79 with that Fox body.
79.
And they had problem with that heater cable from then until 86. They would just start to bind up. And most of the time, we would open the glove box door, push the tabs, take the glove box door, fold it down, take it off, take the end off it where it hooks to the heater box. It's got one screw in there. It's got like an 8mm head on it, 7, and then it just comes out. And then we would lube the cable up. You take the cable out, get yourself some PB blaster, spray in there, work it back and forth, whatever it takes to get it going, and then put the cable back on, and it should be fine. It should move. If you can't make it now, when you take the cable off, you want to move the door by hand.
That's what I say. Check the door by hand manual. Make sure everything's working good.
I have not seen one stick, and then that was a pretty armored box. It just didn't go bad.
If that is sticky by hand when you do it, then you got something got in there, or there's something else going on.
Probably something in it. But if it's usually just the cable. The cables just get old. They've got a pretty good bend on one end of them, and that's where it binds up because it gets dry. The factory has, I think, a little bit of dry Teflon or something on it. But they had this problem when they were new, just a few years old, and now that new time is gone a long.
How many miles are on it now, Todd?
It's got about 138,000. It's got a new Ford Performance crate motor, so it's about twice the horsepower it had new. So
it's got a 302 and a 5-speed.
Yeah, it's a 306, but yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah,
perfect. I mean, that was
because didn't Vanilla Ice have 5-liter rolling in my 5-liter?
Rolling in my 5.0 ragtop down so my hair can blow.
Yeah, I knew you'd know it. I know enough to be dangerous.
We have to guess the color here.
We do.
Now let me. So don't say the color, Todd. But is it a convertible? Yes or no?
Or is it a T-top?
It is not. It's not a T-top. It's not a convertible. Just a hatchback.
Okay. Because I was going to say if it's a convertible, I was going to guess white. I'm going to go dark gray. Not quite black.
When our business was growing out here in the country, we were selling repairables. And I was able to sell our new ag instructor in Garrettson a Mustang GT when I was I was probably 13 or 14 years old. It was a repairable that we had tipped over very light. It was I believe an 84 GT 5-liter T-top. And we helped him fix that, and I think my dad rewarded me with something that I wanted for making that happen. But that car was like that brown cherry, maroon.
Okay.
So I'm going to go with that color as my guess, just because it's sentimental to me. That
it's what you see.
I wish Marty Strasberg would have kept that car. That was a cool car.
Black. Oh, we're all right in there, huh? All right. What color is it, Todd?
Well, it's the 20th anniversary edition, so all 5,000 of them were white with red stripes.
Oh, he's low production too.
I win. I guess I'm going to take that as I didn't win. I don't get the full point, but I beat you too.
Stay on the line. Berkeley One Classics can really help you out with the coverage of that car because that's a perfect fit for that, and it'll save you a ton of money. Producer Doug will get you set up. We'll get you a hoodie.
Berkeley One Classics auto insurance, collector car insurance.
Todd, thanks very much for the call. 866-594-4150. Let's go to Florida and talk to John. You're on the End of the Hood Show. John, what can we do for you?
Hey, how we doing? I'm back with that 2012 F-150 with the intermittent no crank. So I do have a top-down Phoenix Plus scanner that I hooked up to it when it wasn't cranking. And I got it ignition code for a loose cylinder key or ignition switch. So I replaced all those. I got a new tumbler. I rekeyed the new tumbler. I got 2 new keys that I just got programmed to it. And that seemed to work for a couple, 2 to 3 weeks. And over the weekend, it came back with a no crank. So I got a brand new AGM battery that I put in there as well. And then I retested that signal wire. It wasn't getting 12 volts when you were cranking. So I was reading the live data from the scanner, and all the signals were there for cranking, ignition, respond to the key, yes. And so I did get a body control module code that was on there for a while, and I was clearing it, and it kept coming back. So I was like, okay, now I finally have a hard code that I can go off of. See if I can find it.
Have you pulled the body control module out and looked at it to make sure it's not corroded in that kick panel?
I took the plastic floor piece off and looked at all the wiring, and then I took it off and I was unplugging connectors and
sure,
looking at it. I didn't see any corrosion. There's like no rust or corrosion on the truck. I got a U0422 code for receiving the valid data from body control module, and so I think I'm having a BCM problem or a mobilizer problem.
Well, if it doesn't get good if you had a mobilizer problem, it would give you a code for that. It wouldn't give you just a BCM code. But if you got a BCM, U is communication. It's not communicating. So you got something going on there. It's either wiring or that BCM for that problem, and then you can diagnose the other part. But if you've got no communication from the BCM, it's not going to start while it's under no communication.
Should he consider just running a new wire down to the starter?
To start it?
No, just to run just disconnect the factory exciter wire and just run a new wire down there.
But not with a code. He's got a communication code.
But he said,
communication, it won't start. So we gotta address that.
I just hate to have him replace all these parts, and he's got corrosion in the middle of a wire.
It's been able to start.
Yeah, when the code's gone, and it starts, and then it comes back and it's there. That's telling you that you've got a communication issue.
That's you were hoping you're really. This has been a challenging one for you. Remember when you called the first time? You're willing to dig into it. That is for sure. I feel bad that you haven't got that solved and that your pieces didn't fix it. But this is a pesky one if you're getting back into that BCM.
John, sorry we couldn't get you all the way there. Thanks very much for the call. Good luck. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you on the Under the Hood Show. 594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the Hoodie Fan Club at UnderTheHoodShow.com, you could win a hoodie.
Like Eugene Barnes. Congratulations to everybody here under the hood and our friends over at Berkeley One Classics, celebrating 50 years of collector car coverage, and Universal Technical Institute, uti.edu.
We are going to go on the road and represent Berkeley One Classics.
We are.
Coming up.
I don't know if you should say it that way.
Why not?
We're going to I don't know that
we're a pretty good
when you say it that way, you're going to scare them off.
Are you afraid that
I'm not worried about myself representing him, are you?
Okay.
Represent, Chris.
No, we have a great opportunity to go down there, and we're going to make the most out of the trip to Texas. We're going to be going to the Toyota headquarters, but we're also going to go to Russ's hometown.
Yeah.
We're going to Longview, so those of you that are from there that listen to the show, that email me regularly, we're coming down.
We're gonna do I've been joking, call it the hometown. We're doing a hometown with Russ.
Yep, just like for
my girls that watch The Bachelor at the house, we're doing a hometown.
Couple days. Does that make me the Golden Bachelor or the Rusty Bachelor?
It's the Rust.
The Rust
Bachelor.
Rust.
Rusty.
No, I'm looking forward to it. Russ we knew this event was coming up. We are honored to be able to represent Berkeley One. In all seriousness, we're having some fun there.
Yeah.
And they have a connection with Toyota through Toyota Insurance. And together, we're going to go down there for a private event that they have at their headquarters.
A giant car show for employees.
Called October Beast.
Yeah, they really take care of their employees.
It's a neat deal from what we can see by what they've showed us. And we're going to be part of that event. And we're excited to be down there. But when Russ said that he was going to go down on Saturday, because the event is on Tuesday, without any of us really talking to each other at all, Chris had said, hey, maybe I could go with you down to where you grew up. And at the same time, I was thinking, I'd kind of like to see where Russ grew up. And so we both invited ourselves to go at different times to go visit Russ's hometown and see kind of where he grew up. And we've heard all these stories a few times.
We were going to go without
not all the stories. There's some stories we'll never hear. But we've heard a lot of stories over the years about Longview and just his youth there. And we're excited to go down and see it.
It's a little different when you can put a picture and
Yeah.
you're sitting on that road.
Well,
and you're
Russ
like,
sees where I grew up every farting day.
Yeah.
You know? I didn't go very far.
There's no real trees, so I can see all of it. Just look out the window. There it is.
But I've never seen where Russ grows up, and we've spent lots and lots of years together. And I think this is gonna be cool
For sure. 866-594-4150. Let's talk to Adam. You're on the Under the Hood show. Adam, what can we do for you?
Yeah, hey guys, Adam here, first time caller, long time listener. Really appreciate the show.
Cool, thanks for calling.
Yeah, no problem. I got a F-150 for you today, my F-150 Super Crew EcoBoost. I get this humming noise occasionally when I'm driving down the road. Here's the details. I can kind of even feel it through the floorboard, and it usually comes about when I'm going higher speeds, 75 miles per hour to 80 miles per hour in that area. And I sometimes more so notice it when I'm going downhill. I kind of ruled out the tires and the drive shaft already, because if I flip down to like 5th gear by using the button on the column there, the noise goes away. I go back up to 6th gear, the noise comes back. What do you guys think I got? Is that something in the transmission, or what do you guys think?
Well, it could be transmission. Could even be the rear end. You're putting a different load on that, but it could be as simple as something on the exhaust system. The muffler is coming apart inside and rattling a little bit. So when it gets that certain RPM, certain load, it just resonates and makes a little tin can kind of sound. That's possible. We haven't had to do a lot of wheel bearings on those vehicles. We've done a few rear ends, and I think 2 transmissions we've had to put in to those because of noises that turned into great big noises.
I'm going to guess, though, that Russ, on some of those transmission failures, which there's been a number of them, there was probably noises that a lot of the users would have never noticed because they're just not that in touch with their vehicle.
Oh, yeah. A lot of times they just call me and say, hey, my transmission just went out. How much does it cost to put one in?
Right, and they probably had a noise for a year and a half, and they just never noticed it.
People get used to noises.
Or I was just going to say, or noticed it and forgot about it.
Yeah,
it's still working.
Noise comes on, you notice it. You only notice the
Frank
noise
could have
when
done
it's
much
new.
about it anyway.
Yeah, that's true. You can't drive it until we tell people a lot. We'll just drive it a little
If
longer.
it was something internal that was just not quite right, how many people are going to say, it's working great, but can you tear it all the way apart and find out what's wrong inside? Most people just aren't going to.
And then replace it?
Russ might. I don't think I would either.
Nope.
I'm going to drive until it breaks when it comes to internals in a transmission like that. But let's just have him, let's back away a little bit. We got an EcoBoost here, and it runs good, no changes in fuel economy, right? I'm answering the questions for you, but is it working good otherwise?
Yeah, correct. Yeah, works good otherwise.
Your power seems good, the same as it's always been?
Correct, yep.
Smooth,
Yeah, really
smooth
no
power.
symptoms otherwise.
You kind of feel when the turbos come on a little bit. Now they're not, you can't tell really great with them, but you can tell when they're grabbing their boost. That all seems normal?
Yep.
Yeah.
Seems normal.
Okay, well then you're feeling some sort of either a resonant vibration, like Russ said, off exhaust, or something coming off the drivetrain, and short of maybe getting a second opinion to listen to it with you from somebody that's got lots of years of drivetrain experience at a chassis shop, a transmission shop, you're probably going to be chasing this for a little bit. Get it up on a hoist with somebody, have them inspect the rear end, pull the cover, change your fluid in the rear axle assembly. It's good to do that anyway. How many miles do you say you have on this?
How many miles on it?
160,000.
Okay.
Have you ever changed the differential fluid?
I'm not sure that I have.
Then you better
let's do that.
You better inspect it, because those have a very bad habit of getting moisture buildup. They get condensation as they heat and cool, and they get moisture in them. And
the vent can get plugged sometimes.
Yeah, it'll ruin the gear. So
let's do that. Let's bring that thing in, and while it's up in the air or at a shop on the hoist, they can inspect the drive shafts. They can see what kind of slack and play back and forth they have. Pull the cover, look at that gear oil when it comes out. Keep it. See, make sure there's what's in there. How does it look? and maybe you'll find something right there. Maybe it's got some wear inside that axle that's just moving back and forth and causing a vibration at certain torque ranges. And so that would be something to check. Inspect for slap and backlash on the axle assemblies. Look at the snout where it goes into it's 4-wheel drive, correct?
Correct.
Look at the snout where it goes into the drive shafts, goes into the back. Make sure that where the yokes are at, that you don't have play on there. Could be a bushing on a transfer case. There's just different things that can happen there. If you haven't changed your transfer case fluid, pull that plug, inspect that fluid, have it changed, because if you're at 160,000 miles on that too, you might pull one of them plugs and find some filings, and you're going to know where your noise is probably coming from.
Adam, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. Lot to go through there.
Mm-hmm.
It's time if he hasn't done that
right,
stuff.
Right.
It's also great that he's got 160,000 miles on it. He really hasn't had any problems, but eventually things catch up with us.
866-594-4150. Let's talk to Rick in Florida. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Rick, what can we do for you?
Well, hey, good morning. I hope y'all are doing well. I really enjoy the show.
Thanks.
So I've got a 2014 Ford Escape. It's got 130,000 miles. I've done really good on oil changes. I've had the car about 5 years, and so I've put about the last 60,000 miles on it or so. But on cold startups now, I've got a really apparent rattle, and only you don't hear it at idle, but as soon as you put throttle to it, it rattles in drive. And this thing, I thought at first maybe it was a lifter noise, but it's not that. It's not at the top end, and it seems deeper. My gut feeling is it's something with the timing chain, maybe tensioning. But you guys are the experts. I'd just love to get your thoughts on it. After about 10 minutes of driving, this noise goes away. I don't hear it the rest of the day.
I'm going to ask maybe a naive question here because I should know the interchanges and stuff, but is that a V6 or a 4-cylinder in that one?
I'm sorry, it's a 4-cylinder 2-liter turbo truck.
Turbo. You might want to check your exhaust on that. One of the two things, either the exhaust leaking or the turbo wastegate that's leaking. It sounds like you've got that. Okay. Will only make noise until it warms up, and then it'll go away until it gets worse.
Yeah.
It wears more, and then it'll do it all the time. But that could be exactly what's going on. It's down low on the back of the motor.
It does take a good 10 to 15 minutes of driving for that to stop, but it does go away and it stays gone until the next day, because I drive it pretty much all day. I use it for company work, and it's being driven most every day. But yeah, I don't want it to get worse or damage anything, so I will look into that. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, and that's a cheaper repair than what it could be.
Does the noise change any if you put it in gear and put light pressure on it, like in a drive gear or a reverse gear?
No.
Okay.
And you don't hear it until you start to accelerate. And it doesn't speed up really with the acceleration of the motor RPM. It seems to be the same repetitious rattle. It just goes away after it warms up really good. So come to an idle at a stoplight, you don't hear it at all. But as soon as you put the throttle on at all, it starts.
Sounds like exhaust leak.
Let's hope that's what it is. Because if not, if it is if your timing set is that loose to cause that noise, it would more than likely rumble all the time when you start it. You'd hear that
continuously for a long time.
Yeah. So that's what makes us think we're going down a different road.
Rick, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594-4150. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear from you. 866-594-4150. That's the number to reach us here at the Under the Hood Show. Let's talk to Dennis in Minnesota. Dennis, you're on the Under the Hood Show. What can we do for you?
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
I was calling to you guys helped me out earlier in the year on a Buick Riviera, an issue where it would stall, and you guys helped out, and I got it fixed. And somebody wanted to buy it shortly after that, so I didn't have a whole lot of time to shop around. I was looking at Mercedes, the GLA class, back in, I think it was like 21 or 22, and there's a few of them around the country that had ridiculously low miles, like 3,000 or 6,000. There were a few of them like that, and they were very reasonably priced. And I can't remember where I read there was an issue with the factory issue with the tranny part, and so they offered factory rebuy or a rebuy program instead of people who didn't want to wait for the fix on it, and that's why some of them were priced so low. Can you tell me, are you familiar with that first of all, and then if so, when it was fixed, if they had driven on it for even a few thousand miles, would it have damaged any other part of the car?
I'm going to talk in generalities about this sort of a thing, and not knowing the specifics. Russ and I are both making eye contact here, like neither one of us are real familiar with this particular campaign, if there was one. I'm just going to take your word for it that you saw what you saw. And as a rule of thumb, the Mercedes, the BMW, that class of German vehicle, if there was a problem with a transmission that was just systematic and they figured that out and they wanted to make some condolences to customers and do some things, it wouldn't have been such a problem that would have hurt anything else on the rest of the vehicle. Unless these things were dumping into low gear going down the road and, revving engines to the moon, there's not much that could happen with that transmission that would damage anything else on the car. I say that not carefully, but I feel pretty confident in saying that. If that campaign was such, too, that they couldn't satisfy the owner, and if they knew they had a continuing problem, the Mercedes brand would not put that vehicle back for sale unless they knew they had a fix for it. They have got a very strong brand in that regard. They're not perfect. They've made mistakes. They've had vehicles that had some issues that people had to fix, but not at the rate of a highly produced domestic and such. And so my opinion would be that when they made the repairs, oftentimes a manufacturer will extend the warranty on that repair to give the consumer confidence that they could buy this buyback vehicle and have an extended warranty on whatever they fixed. We see that with some manufacturers also. They'll say, hey, we know we have a problem. We don't quite have the fix yet. You can't wait. You're being very difficult, and we are going to do something different for you. Or they will offer them a trade-in credit to say, hey, we'll give you X percentage. And it may not be an amazing trade-in credit, but it's above the curve, enough where they entice the person to trade into a new model, and then they get that one back and say, all right, we're gonna fix this problem. But those are the questions I would ask. What exactly was fixed? If that was the case, that will be highly documented within the Mercedes computer systems of the dealership network, the manufacturer's network, because all those things would have been in a customer management system. It would all have been highly documented, and they would know exactly what was done, when it was done, who did it, what miles it happened at, what the remedy was, how many times they attempted the remedy. And when we talked earlier in an episode about a lemon law, the manufacturers, we have some inside track on some of this stuff. They have extremely good records before they get to that point. And sometimes these things can go on for months. Sometimes they can go on for a couple of years. And sometimes they buy them back and they remarket them after repair. And sometimes they buy them back and just take them off the road because they got something weird going on. They got a wiring harness with a problem in it that's deep in the vehicle. They got just something. And they know that we're just gonna punt this one out and swing again. Mm-hmm. And so in this case, if there is a few of them around like that, there is a story that should be able to exactly tell you with confidence the rest of that story. You shouldn't have to wonder.
Okay, that's great. Do you have time for one more real quick question?
Sure. I'll try to give a quicker answer.
Yeah, that wasn't on you, Dennis. That was on.
No, there was another vehicle I was looking at after I sold the Riviera. Since then, I bought a Nissan Kicks because I had to get something real quick. Brand new, and it's a nice vehicle, but the other vehicle I was looking at was a 22 Jeep, the smaller version of the Jeep, that had an issue also. If you look around the country or at car dealerships in ads, the 22 seem to have a whole lot of them, more so than any other used vehicle. Was there a problem with the 22 Jeep?
Was that a Cherokee, or was it a small Cherokee, or was it a Compass, or was it a
Liberty?
Compass. It was a Compass. Okay. Yeah.
I would have more confidence in Mercedes program than Jeeps on that particular.
I got you on that.
Okay.
That.
There's a quick answer.
Yeah. Dennis, thanks very much for the call. Good luck. 866-594.
When he said it was a Compass, the answer for me was easy. I don't know, just
Let's talk to Rhonda. You're on the Under the Hood show, Rhonda. What can we do for you?
Hi, I have a 2013 Acura MDX, and it hesitates quite a bit when I step on the gas. I don't know. It's really weird. It doesn't matter if it's cold or hot out. It's just when I try to pick up speed, it just hesitates like that.
Can you tell, or have you paid enough attention to watch the tachometer on the engine to see what it's doing when it's not proceeding as you'd like it to?
No, I have not watched that.
I'd be curious to know if the tachometer, which shows how fast the engine is spinning, is rising and you're not moving, or if it is also blundering. Because if you're not super familiar with how that all feels, we're just trying to determine if you got an engine drivability problem or if there's something going on with the transmission in the vehicle.
Well, I've heard that this year of vehicles with the MDX do have some transmission issues.
Yeah, so I mean,
I just wondered.
But here I'm just going to say this right now. We hear who these people are. You know what? Here's what's going to happen, guys. With AI, we're going to find out who they are.
Yeah, I don't think so. I
No?
think it's all going to be they.
They?
It's going to be able to
Everything's
combine
going to be
them
they?
all.
I thought AI might make they be exposed.
There's going to be no we.
But no, there is trend setting that can happen so fast on the internet about, it's a big problem. Things can you watch X, TikTok.
We do hundreds of transmissions and engines at our shop. We have only put one MDX transmission in.
But they're not as heavily populated around here either.
They're not, but we do other things to those vehicles, brakes, struts.
But there are some campaigns you can find that are well documented that you can find that goes back and say, here's a campaign where Honda Acura decided to to replace the transmissions in VIN number from this to this. And if you didn't, that's the type of research that I would ask an Acura dealer. And if there was something that was noteworthy, that it became a campaign, they'll have record of it for your particular VIN.
Okay.
There you go.
But to start off with, let's learn just a little more as you're driving, which is something that you don't have to know. But now that you're wondering about it,
right?
That's what I will try to tell people is, all right, it's not moving well. Are we revving up the engine and not going anywhere, or is the engine just not able to get steam? It's just the old coal engine. It's not getting any steam. It just can't get going. And that can be as simple as you could have just some coils that are going bad on the engine.
How long have you been driving it, and has it always done this?
No, it just started in the last couple of years, and it only has 76,000 miles on it.
Okay.
I wonder if you might not have some
since it was brand new.
Yeah, I wonder if you might not have some coils going bad or something, and it's just a drivability issue, and it won't show up on a check engine light because it's kind of maybe in the base ignition. It's not setting a code. Do you got any codes? I didn't ask that. Any
no
lights on the dash or anything?
No.
Yeah, it's I would pay a little closer attention if you can. Just watch what's happening when it's not working right. And if the tack's kind of jumping up higher RPMs and you're not moving, then you got to get a little more nervous about transmission. If the tack is blundering and just kind of bouncing around at 1,000, 2,000 RPMs and you're not taking off very well, it's a drivability issue, and you can get that fixed up.
Because there was the reason I asked that is we talked about it. We rented a car, and I would have thought that was driving incorrectly until I talked to someone who has one. They said, no, that's how it takes off. Oh, I didn't like it.
That Chinese rental that I had in England, I swear it was broken.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it wasn't.
That'll do it for another hour of the Under the Hood Show. Until next time, you can find us at underthehoodshow.com. Thank you very much for listening to the Under the Hood Show. All right, this is the after show. We are now after. See?
The show. I got you. We're after the show.
Right. Let's talk to Daryl. You're on the Under the Hood Show. Daryl, what can we do for you?
Well, it's not what you can do for me. It's what I can do for somebody else, I guess. I was driving down the road a little bit ago, and I couldn't call you, but the guy had a problem with a parasitic draw.
Oh, yeah. There was a gentleman that called in with a 23 Nissan Frontier.
Yeah.
Pro 4X. Yes.
Yeah, and I bought a pickup out of Chicago, 79 GMC short bed pickup, and the guy had a video of it, and he said, "Oh yeah, we just put a new battery and a new alternator on it, and it's good to go." So when I got it delivered, the battery was completely dead. I mean, there was nothing, and it was still on the truck. So I got it off the truck and charged the battery, and it was in the morning, and by nighttime it was dead. And I thought, oh my God, what's going on here? And it was driving me nuts trying to figure it out. And what it was, I pulled the plug. I charged the battery up, and then I pulled the plug off the 3-prong plug on the alternator, and I pulled that off to where it was draining. The alternator was drawn from the battery, and it was a pretty strong draw because it was in 4 or 5 hours the battery was dead. So I pulled that plug, and I thought, well, it's got to be the alternator, but it's new. So I thought, well, I went and bought another alternator, and I put that on, and it was for a 79 GMC. I put that alternator on, and the problem was solved. So they just put the wrong alternator on, and I was thinking, well, maybe this guy's got a short in his alternator or something that's pulling like what I had.
That is one of the suggestions that Russ gave him, was that if they would put a heat gun on that alternator, if it would actually draw down while he had it. Right. I remember Russ saying this exactly. Then if they would shoot that with a heat gun and see that alternator is all warmed up, they would know that that alternator is engaging and it's shorted inside. And in your case with that 79 Chevy, it was more than likely the voltage regulator inside the alternator that was engaging, and it was drawing that power. Happened quite a bit on those GM alternators. And I'm going to guess it's not so much it was the wrong one, it was just a bad one.
Right.
That you had. Because those GM alternators, they were pretty interchangeable in those years of trucks. Hey, I got to ask, because I'm really curious. You went online, apparently, or by auction or by whatever, and bought a 79 GMC in Chicago. This is just recently?
Yep.
That I want to hear more.
Yes,
so did you buy one that's been all restored, or what did you buy?
Yeah, it was a black one, and it's really a beautiful pickup. I mean, it's just no rust, and it's just straight as can be. And you got new leather interior, inner bucket seats, and everything. It's a beautiful little truck.
So somebody's customized it a little bit too?
Yeah, as far as customizing, they put the grill on and the grill in it, and the headlights, and then the tailgate. They changed the tailgate on it, and just little stuff like that. But other than that, it's pretty much stock.
Did you buy it from a private party, or was it from a dealership like Gateway Classics or one of them places that advertises stuff for sale?
It was Gen X cars in Chicago area.
Yeah, that's
where I bought it.
Yeah, for other listeners out there are some extremely reputable classic vehicle resellers out there. Now, prices can be all over the board, but there are also, and I just want to bring this up as a point because I know my sister Yvette she has Vanderbrink Auctions, and she had just posted recently. She's got a beautiful collection of Camaros, Chevelles, a Nova SS. I haven't seen that nice of a Nova SS for a long time, like a burgundy colored one. But as she posted it on Facebook, of course, there's people that are commenting in the public, and there's some people say, these cars aren't real. Somebody just trying to take your money. And of course, I know this is my sister.
Right.
She's as reputable as they come as an auction company. But that is so real on the internet where they can take a pretty picture from anywhere of a dog, of a lady, of a car, a man, things that people desire, and put it up for sale. And you've got to make those phone calls. You've got to hire a local person. There's inspectors you can hire to go look at things. Because this 79 you got, it sounds like you did a great job, but it could have just as well been something that somebody prettied up, made look good, didn't exist.
Right. Yeah.
I've seen so many people, and you sound like you're older than me, and I've seen that happen where there's people that are my age and older than me that have gotten totally taken by their desire to get something they wanted that doesn't even exist. And so I'm glad you got something you wanted and you're happy with it. That's cool. Yeah. That's really neat. Really, really neat.
Daryl, thanks very much for the call. All right. Well, that I think will do it for the after show. We got stuff to do since you've been gone. We got a lot of stuff to make up.
And I'm just ready to talk.
Yeah,
you can't shut me up today, can you?
All right.
You can't shut me up. Shut me up. Just
anything
turn
else?
my mic off.
What
I did something I've never done before, other than drive on the wrong side of the car on the wrong side of the road in a roundabout.
Skydiving, base jumping.
No.
Okay.
It involves an automobile. This is an automotive show.
Yeah, like goat yoga.
Usually.
Yeah, I mean, you've talked about goat yoga. I'm just saying.
I drove onto a ferry and rode across the water in a ferry.
Fair enough. I just did
I didn't know it was on my bucket list until it was available to do.
I apologize because I just did that too for the first time. It's pretty.
It's kind of a neat experience.
Is it one where they made you get out, or would they let you sit in the car?
You sat in the car.
Okay, because some of them they make you get
and they
out.
had a little lounge. You could go. It was. It said lounge on the side. We walked in. It was just a little room.
Yeah.
They had nice toilets on there. They had an observation deck you could walk on. It was from Tarbert, Ireland to
Tarbert.
Killerum. I can't remember the names of towns over there, but it was about 20 minutes.
Okay.
And it saved you 3 hours of driving.
Yeah, that's what ours was across Lake Champlain, and it was too short. I thought, my wife thought it was plenty long. It was like 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like I think if you go to Wisconsin, you want to drive across, go to Michigan, you could take the ferry, or you can drive around, and it's about the same because it takes so long to get across Lake Michigan versus.
Yeah, and you know what the name of the ferry was? The company?
What?
Shannon Ferries.
Oh. Did you get any shirts or any placards or anything?
I have a bad habit I've developed of buying bottle openers, magnetic bottle openers from places that I go. You can't always find a bottle opener, so it's turned into magnets.
Sure it wasn't Shannon.
And I forgot to get one in Shannon, Ireland.
Oh.
So I've been there. Is it fair to buy one on Amazon now?
Yeah, for sure.
Since I was there, I just forgot to buy one.
I think so.
And then my wife started to tell me there should be a limit of how many I buy in each place. She goes, she's afraid we might have to buy another refrigerator.
The garage fridge is the sticker fridge.
This is the garage fridge.
Kitchen fridge is the magnet fridge.
It's the openers.
The garage fridge is in our house garage is where I've got them displayed on the side. Actually, on the side of the upright freezer.
Okay,
that's where they're at.
Was that church key? Is that what they call them here in South Dakota?
The ones that what you put into like the old doors?
No, the
oil can ones. Those are church keys.
Church keys. Yeah.
Yeah, that's Jacobson here.
Oh,
that had thousands.
Dwayne Jacobson has a huge. I think he still has a huge church key collection from all over the place.
He brought like a box one day. that was like, he's like, these are my bad ones, so you could just.
Yeah, my dad
dig
has
through
saw
them.
a cabinet that he pulled out and showed him how many he had, and that's one of our salesmen here. It's his dad.
I actually had to use one the other day. I bought something that
What
I
did you
needed
need to use one for?
I can't even remember. It was so, and of course, I just had one. I mean, I opened the silverware drawer, and it was right there.
I no longer have one in my silverware drawer.
I don't know that I've ever used it in my life, but I did that. What was it? Oh my gosh, I can't remember.
Had pull tabs growing up on pop cans, but they were quickly replaced with the ones you couldn't take off.
Right.
Early 80s, maybe even 79, but they went to just what they have today, and nobody's built a better mousetrap. They're still the same. But I think the companies that used to make the can openers, they said, well, we got to come up with something to keep going. So they made the little thing you could put on there and open them. Like when they open them for you,
Sure.
it's the same type of thing. But I can remember opening oil cans with it. You had to use either an opener and pour it, or the one that stabbed in the top.
The stabber, and oh my God!
I still got
how
one of
many
those.
times did I stab the can, not get it right, and I crushed the can?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's because I was a kid and I didn't do it right.
Cardboard,
Yeah.
you had to get it just right, and you had to be quick, or it would just. And they'd leak.
The seal, that foam around there was a joke.
So you could use them 3 or 4 times, then you'd throw it away and get another one, and they'd leak. We'd use them to fill up the mini bikes and go-karts.
Russ, I'm having such good memories right now, filling up the old 3-wheelers, just stuff. And that's good memories. So anyway, I have way too many magnets.
Sure. Me too.
So I got to get one from Shannon.
Yeah, we do the magnet and sticker when we go someplace.
Not stickers.
Noteworthy.
No, too many magnets though.
All right.
It's gotten out of hand.
There we go. Thanks, everybody.
They have Longview. They have magnets in Longview.
Go down to the History Museum. I'm sure you'll find.
Hey, Tammy, we got good news. We're coming home with magnets. That'll do it for the Under the Hood Show. Thanks. Like, subscribe. See you later.